Peace ladies, welcome back to the Modern Goddess channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 femininity blockers. And what are femininity blockers? They are circumstances or things that really prevent you from being able to be in your feminine, or that at least make it really challenging for you to rest in your feminine energy. And I really wanted to touch on this topic because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos giving feminine advice and dating and relationship advice. However, nothing that I say is going to make a difference. None of that is going to matter unless you make improvements in these 5 areas of your life. Now, you might have some feminine moments here and there, okay? But you will always fall back into your masculine unless you work on these 5 areas, okay? So let's just get right into it. The first femininity blocker, ladies, that is probably the most common one is trauma, okay? I've talked about trauma before in my videos, but I keep bringing it up because it's really important. Okay, now, usually when we think of trauma as it relates to femininity blockage, we usually think of something that a man did. We usually think, okay, a man neglected us, or a man disappointed us, a man betrayed us, a man abused us. Okay, when you deal with abandonment, neglect, hurt, any type of harm to you mentally, physically, emotionally from a man, specifically a masculine man, it can cause you to have some type of resentment towards men. It can cause you to feel like you can't trust men. It can cause you to feel like you can't be vulnerable or open with men. And all of that absolutely will cause you to be more in your masculine, and it will be more challenging for you to be in your feminine. However, that is not the only type of trauma that, you know, is a femininity blocker. Another one that is also very common that a lot of women don't realize is the trauma that you get from your own mothers. Okay, if you had a mother that kind of made you feel like being feminine or girly was weak, or that made you feel like in order to be important, in order to make it in this world, in order to be successful, that you had to be in your masculine. If you had a mother that was kind of jealous of you and that, you know, tried to make you feel bad because you looked good when you got dressed up or girly, or that tried to make you feel bad because you attracted certain type of guys when she didn't, or whatever, all of that is traumatic. A mother that wasn't emotionally supportive, that wasn't affectionate towards you, all of that is traumatic. Okay, also think to your school age years. A lot of times we disregard that, but there's a lot of trauma involved in elementary, middle school, high school, you know, depending on what your relationships was like with other girls, feeling like you didn't belong with the girls, like you couldn't be girly and feminine with them because they kind of outcasted you. So you felt like you had to be hard. You felt like you had to be kind of distant, kind of nonchalant, kind of blunt, or whatever, in order to feel respected or feel like people would listen to you or talk to you. You had to be like that hardcore, mean, disrespectful girl or whatever. All of that is traumatic, okay? So you want to think about whatever your trauma is, even if it's not being asked out to prom, being cheated on when you were young or whatever, all of that. Think about what your trauma is, and you really need to work on healing from these things, okay? Now, I want you to understand that healing doesn't happen overnight. It does not. I still sometimes get triggered from things that happened to me when I was 11 years old, okay? Like, for example, I was assaulted sexually when I was 11 years old by a man that was drinking beer. So now, still to this day, when I smell beer on a man's breath, it triggers me. Now, I don't get crazy or angry or anything, but like, I will like kind of shut down and distance myself, because I could be smiling and happy and joking, you know, but if I smell that beer on a man's breath, I kind of like, you know, it makes me very uncomfortable, okay? And like I said, I was 11 when it happened. Some of you weren't even born yet. So imagine your entire life me working on healing from something that happened all the way back then. You know what I mean? So it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but as long as you are in the process of healing, okay, sometimes it's going to be a lifelong process, okay, but you want to make sure you start working on that. That could mean therapy for you. You know, I prefer a therapist that I feel like I can relate to and that can understand things that happen within the Black community. Sometimes for some people, you just need different type of coping mechanisms. For some people, it's art. Doing things with your hand can be very therapeutic, like sewing, knitting, painting, sometimes dancing. All of that can be therapeutic. Journaling. Okay, or just having some type of moral support system, somebody you can talk to, people you can relate to, and you want to make sure, again, with the support system, there are people that are healing. You don't want a support system of people that have a victim mentality, rather a victor mentality. Not a support system of bitter people that point fingers and that just want to dwell on the past, but again, people that are growing and healing, okay? So that's number one. It's very important. If you don't get that trauma out of the way, you're not going to be able to truly rest in your femininity. You're not going to be able to be vulnerable. You're not going to be able to be soft. You're not going to be able to be trusting, forgiving, and all of these things that come with it. So work on that trauma, okay? The second femininity blocker is your environment, okay? Do you feel safe in your environment? Do you feel relaxed and at ease in your environment? If where you live, if your home, if every day you have to worry about people shooting outside your window, or you're afraid that you could get robbed at any moment, you're afraid that somebody might grab you or whatever because of what's happening, of the chaos and the rowdiness that's going on where you live, it is not going to allow you to truly be able to rest in your femininity, especially if you're single. Now, if you have a man in the home that makes you feel safe, then that could be a little different because you'll know that he'll protect you. But if you're single and you're alone and you're in that type of environment, you're not going to be able to truly rest in your feminine because you're going to feel like you have to be in your masculine in order to survive. You have to harden yourself to let people know that you're not the one to play with or whatever. Okay. Also, do you feel relaxed and at ease? So let's say you don't live in a dangerous or chaotic environment, but inside your home, let's say it's messy, it's very cluttered, it's noisy, you're not going to be able to really be in your feminine in that type of environment, okay? In order for femininity to be able to really thrive, you need space, okay? You need to be able to flow, and so when there's a lot of clutter, you can't do that. You need to declutter your home, throw away things that you don't need anymore. You probably have clothes that you've had in there for 1-2 years that you don't wear anymore. Throw them away. You have look this. I have little knickknacks all over the place. I've had to throw away a lot of it. Some of it is in my storage because I didn't want to throw it away. But it's out of the house at least. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you have little things that you find cute just sitting around your home collecting dust. Some of that stuff you need to throw it away or go put it in storage or something. If you have a lot of noisy children in your house running around, you need to start instilling some home training, okay, and letting them know when it is and it's not okay to be loud. Start involving some book reading, some type of something where they need to have some quiet activities a couple of times throughout the day, okay? And really just make your homes a place that you enjoy being. You should have peace in your own home. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to really rest in your femininity, okay? So make sure your living environment is peaceful, relaxing, you feel safe in that. That's important, okay? The third femininity blocker is going to be your lifestyle. If you live the type of life where you're constantly doing, you're constantly going, you're always working, you don't really have time to rest, okay? You don't really have time to treat yourself right. You don't really have time for self-care. You're the type of woman that's trying to do it all. And by do it all, I mean you're trying to work and you're trying to keep, your home in order, and you're trying to make sure you're fit, and you're trying to take care of the children, and you're doing your own hair, you're doing your own nails, you're doing everything on your own. You don't have a partner, you don't have any help, you don't have any support. That is a very demanding lifestyle. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, and it causes you to definitely be in your masculine. So you really need to find out, and I feel like some of those things are your responsibility. Some of those things you feel like you're obligated to do. But I realize sometimes with some women, you just make yourself busy. And you're not even being productive. You're just busy. Like you're making yourself do things that you don't even really need to do for the sake of having something to do, for the sake of feeling purposeful. So like, for example, some women might join groups or organizations because they want to feel like they're part of something, or they just want connection with other people because they have issues bonding with people alone. So it's like, okay, I have to join this and be busy and do all of this extra stuff and do and work and do all of this in order to bond with people. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying that you should quit any organizations or stop doing these things, but you really need to sit down and analyze your life. What is it that you don't need to be doing? You can cut some of that stuff out, I'm sure. Okay, you need to make time for yourself. You need to make time to rest. A lack of rest is a huge femininity blocker. Okay, you need to make time to rest. You need to make time for self-care, to really pamper yourself, cater to yourself, get you some help with certain things. Okay, don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Be receptive when people are offering you assistance in many different ways, okay? All of this really does help you with your femininity. But again, if you're trying to do it all on your own, you're overworking yourself, you're stressing yourself out, always doing, always going, you're busy, and you're not even really productive. You're just busy. You're joining things just for the sake of having connection. You need to cut some of that stuff out. That is going to be a lifestyle that does not allow you to really be in your femininity, okay? The fourth feminine blocker is going to be the type of energy you are absorbing based on who you hang around, like your friends, and like what type of entertainment you're absorbing. Okay, so all of that energy that you're absorbing. So let's say your friends are the type of people that are nonchalant, blunt, sarcastic, disrespectful, and you just don't feel like you can be vulnerable around them. You don't feel like you can show emotion around them. Like everybody you hang around is like really hard. Okay, they don't really understand femininity. You're not going to feel comfortable being feminine around them because you're going to feel like they're going to attack you. You're going to feel like they're going to make fun of you, or they're not going to understand you. Okay, again, sometimes, a lot of times it's our own mothers that do that to us. Sometimes it's lifelong friends, and you're trying to grow and work on yourself, develop yourself personally, but your friends are looking at you like, oh, why are you making these changes? Or why are you doing this differently? Why are you dressing like that? Why are you talking like that? They're not going to understand. And if you are around these type of people all the time, it's going to kind of make you feel uncomfortable. Like it's going to make it challenging to really be in your femininity. Okay, so you might want to either have conversations with some of these people or start cutting some of these people out, and you might need to just start changing who is in your circle. Okay, so that's one, the type of people that you're hanging around. And not only that, if you're hanging around a lot of bitter women, a lot of women that have a lot of resentment and anger towards men, a lot of women that need healing themselves, that is definitely going to play a role in you not really being in your feminine. If you're absorbing a whole bunch of negative talk about what masculine men are like, that's not good for your femininity. And like I said, the entertainment aspect of it, the music that you listen to, what you're watching on TV, what you're looking at on social media, all of that, you're taking it in, you're absorbing it, you're consuming all of that, and all of that has an impact on your feminine energy. If you're not really absorbing a lot of people that are talking about healing, that are talking about relationship, that are talking about self-care, that are talking about personal development, that are talking about the things that are going to make you feel better as a woman, as a lady, then it's not going to really help. It's not going to be very conducive on your feminine journey, okay? And so the last thing that is a femininity blocker, and a lot of people aren't going to like this one, but is if you are in a relationship with an emasculated male, or if you only date emasculated males. Now, how does this play a role in it? Because when you're in a relationship with a male, then you are complimenting him, and I don't mean giving compliments, but I mean like you balance him out. Like where he falls weak, y'all make up for each other's strengths and weaknesses. Y'all fit together very well, like a glove. You fit together, right? And so if he is emasculated, then that means you're going to have to make up in those areas where he's emasculated. That means you're not going to really be able to be in your emotions and feelings if he's always in his. Okay? If things get hard and y'all are having uncomfortable situations or disagreements, and he gets to being all hysterical in his emotions, and he's not offering any solutions, he's not fixing any of the problems, he's not solving anything, he's not really making any decisions, you always feel like you have to be the one to tell him what he should do, or maybe we should do this, or let's do this instead. If that's you, and you feel like you're more of a mother to him than a wife or a spouse or girlfriend, that's going to end up causing you to be in your masculine. Okay? If you're with a man and you can't depend on him for things, and I'm not saying you have to depend on a man, but you can't depend on him if you need to. But he has no problem calling you and asking you for things, asking you for help. He always depending on you, but you can't really depend on him. That is going to have you in your masculine, okay? So there are many ways to tell if you're with an emasculated male. Maybe I'll do another video about that, but that is going to cause you to be more in your masculine. It's going to be a huge femininity blocker. If you're trying to balance out a man that's not masculine, okay? If you're trying to complement and fit together with a man that's not in his masculine, it's going to cause you to not really be in your feminine as much as you would like to be, okay? Now, I don't want you to take this as saying you should just dump him or leave him alone, because I know a lot of people would think, okay, maybe I should just leave this guy alone, because I don't think that's fair. Because I tell men all the time, if you're with a woman that's a little overly masculine, be patient with her. These are some things that you can do to help bring out that feminine side, and there are absolutely things that women can do to help inspire, change in men, or to help bring out that masculine in him. Men should definitely want to do that on their own for themselves, but there are still things that as a woman you can do. But nonetheless, it's still a femininity blocker, okay? So yeah, these are 5 things, ladies, that you want to really work on in your life. That trauma, you want to start healing from that, okay? When it comes to your living environment, you want to make sure you feel safe and at ease and relaxed in your own home. Okay, when it comes to your lifestyle, if it's a demanding lifestyle that's a lot of pressure, you're busy, you're always on the go, you're always doing something, you need to start cutting some things out and making time to rest and take care of yourself. Okay, when it comes to the type of people that you're around and the type of entertainment and just all of the energy that you're absorbing, that you're consuming, you want to make sure that it's more feminine than it is masculine. You want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to be conducive to your personal development and not something that's going to be a hindrance, okay? And lastly, that emasculated male, okay? He needs to work on his masculinity, or you, like I said, maybe I can do a video or how to deal with being with an emasculated male. Maybe I can do a video to help with that. But that's going to be an area that you want to make improvements in, okay? So hopefully this helps, ladies. That's it. Peace and much love.